So hold on, it's pronounced Arkady Choi or Arkady?
Arca- Arkady Choi, actually, but I
Arkady Choi?
did. Everybody works for you.
Arkady Choi.
Arkady. I can't fucking remember, dude. I don't. My
Okay,
Russian's
okay, so
better than my Korean, but
hey guys, this is
Hello.
Pilleater, and I'm joined with Arkady Choi. What's up?
hey,
And I'm also joined
what's up, my
here.
nigga?
I'm also joined here with Based Korean,
What's up, gangsters?
and I'm here with Hana Funda.
Hello.
There's fucking Koreans in here because we're using fucking black slang.
Oh, really? I was not aware of this. I rub with the black people.
You rub me.
They don't steal shit from my store.
Yes.
That's an interesting thing about blacks and Koreans. Does that ever? I mean, would that be the most likely black male Asian female coupling if it's a black male and Korean? Because you never hear anything about.
No, because Korean
Most
men
likely,
find
yeah.
black women detestable. Yeah, we're not. There's very few of us that are attracted to them. Let me say that.
Okay.
Black men
No, I'm
to
playing.
Asian.
Yeah.
That's good.
Shit.
Wait, can you guys even hear me?
Yeah, you
can
can
hear
turn up
someone.
your mic if I can. I mean,
Very far away
hold on. But I first found out about Arkady Choi actually from you, Based Korean. I think he was following your stuff, and
I'm sorry about that.
I liked what he's doing on Twitter, and I like his WordPress blog going over that stuff. So, Arkady Choi, did you want to introduce yourself and about your blog internet career?
Yeah, I'm a common filth enthusiast, and so basically I want to be a Korean knockoff version of common filth. And so I started the blog because I'm not really good at doing podcasts. Thinks my mic is shit. I have my own setup is shit. So I started the blog as my way of imitating common filth.
Common Filth.
And-
Who's that again? Or
He is a YouTube podcast guy. He is part of the Common Filth Radio. It's basically a really sardonic look society through a really devout view. He really inspired me to start the whole process of create my own version, my own kind of thing. But the funny thing about it is that he's not the original inspiration. Originally, Arkady Choi was going to be kind of fuck off, but I realized I can't act for shit, and I don't want to look like an idiot on camera, and so I started Arkady Choi instead.
I see.
I made it into what it is today. Basically, almost neo-Nazi Korean shit.
Neo-Nazi. I wouldn't say I'm
So-
a neo-Nazi. I don't think I'm a neo-Nazi.
I use that word for all the normies in the audience. I use that word when any normie listening to this who doesn't know what it fucking doesn't know what right wing is really.
Hana, are you a neo-Nazi?
I was, but then I realized that, hey, this is just right wing. This is as bad as communism, so I stopped doing it.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
It is. I use the word as a joke.
I mean, of course, like, occasionally I'll pose in front of a swastika, but I wouldn't call myself a neo-Nazi.
It's casual. Post around swastika.
You know,
shit,
there's
everyone
some-
does.
There's something weird about the terminology between neo-Nazi and communist. If you say neo-Nazi, you're most likely going to offend normies. If you say communist, you're some hipster guy that wears an Urban Outfitters hammer and sickle t-shirt. I mean,
Bash the fash.
I feel really bad for like the people who are like into communism roleplay, because it's like they try to be like neo-Nazi Daily Stormer roleplays, but they end up being like, oh, what's that guy named? Zexi? Can't pronounce his name. And he says he's a true hardcore Marxist, and it's like, one thing for certain when you subscribe to a religion or ideology, but then again, it's like this strange LARPing fest or something.
Well, I
Can't-
mean, like,
Yeah.
I think I said this when we were in the Discord, but I don't think anyone who's watching you knows. I am Russian, and I have family that lives over in Russia, and my grandfather over there was in the Red Army, and he absolutely despised the communist regime.
Hmm.
So, I mean, whenever I see communists on Twitter or on the streets, or anyone who's a communist in general, I was just like how many times do I want to punch them in the face, rather than how am I gonna talk to this person? because
National
I-
Socialist is still better than communist, though.
Oh, it is.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
my
I mean,
bad.
so much
I mean,
better.
if you say to me I'm a communist, I automatically hate you. If you say you're a national socialist, I'll be like, okay, sure, like go ahead, man. Because
Yeah.
I mean, not to get all like Stormfront goal conspiracy, but Stalin killed more than Hitler, so fuck you.
I like Arkady Choi's
Realized
Twitter.
shit afterwards though.
I really like your Twitter feed because I always find something interesting or some wisdom or some picture that I'll end up liking, or a lot of jokes and a lot of interesting insight about some racial aspect between, especially on the Korean side, or some maybe strange. I'm looking at the front image, and you have the difference between, I guess, both Westerners, between a black character saying, "Ayo, where the chinky girls out," and this white guy that's going, "Asian women are much better than white women. They know their place and never get fat." And so, like, that's interesting. You
Yeah.
point that out. Do you want to elaborate on that interest, or?
I think it's the difference between whites and blacks is whites try to justify everything they do. They gotta justify like, oh, I'm doing this because this, or black guys, it's nature. I do that shit, bitch. It's nature for me. That's literally one of the subconscious things I made it. I made another one. I'm actually making one right now. The other clicking noise, it's because I'm doing right now. I gotta my Skype goes bad every time I go on Twitter, so I gotta use my mobile version to look at it. But because I'm using,
Oh.
let's see. I made another one. What was that one? Yeah, fuck. I post shit all the time. I'd like scroll down, see what I last posted. Either I didn't put it on here yet. Oh, I didn't put it on here. Okay, because I can't remember this shit. I made another one like last night or a couple nights. I can't remember I posted and look for it. It's basically the same thing. Forget about it. I can't. I'll look for it. But you have any other more questions?
No, I'm just actually looking at some of these pictures. The one comment I said.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's basically how do you say hello in English. I wrote it in Korean. I use Translate. I'm okay with shitty Korean in it because I plan on eventually posting this in Korean forums. So if I use correct Korean, all the idiots there are going to assume I'm some North Korean deterrent or some shit. How do you say hello in English? And it's a picture of a white guy. It says traps are straight fetish, even more than like a sexy woman. Women are more batshit insane than traps due to feminism, the whole SJW music. So traps are the best option and isn't gay. And it's basically how do you say hello in English. That's my
Can we euthanize people who say that?
I know, right?
Also,
This is weird shit.
Arkady, I have a question to ask you. Since you live in South Korea, are
live
you
in the
going to
United
get
States.
StarCraft? Well, since you're
I live
Korean,
in the
are you
United
gonna get
States,
StarCraft?
American born. I'm better at Red Alert 3. Red Alert 3 and Command Conquer is my shit.
Okay.
StarCraft is kind of only way I can play StarCraft if I'm watching what do you call it in the background, Starship Troopers. It's the only way I can play StarCraft. I have to be watching that shit in the background.
It became a cliche Korean competitive sport when you see all the Koreans are basically the top StarCraft players, or even
Koreans are computer gods. Let's just say that.
It's just this strange. It's interesting that there's that competitive RTS play to it, and I'm not so sure. I'm not aware of how it got popular in Korea, this StarCraft thing.
I don't know.
But
Well,
I don't know
it's sort
if
of like
it's a-
strategy and chess and intelligence and whatnot. So
I don't know if it's like a genetic thing, but we're really good with our hands. Like you see this in say Olympic archery competitions, like where you get all the gold medals. I know some hand surgeons. I know like some of the best hand surgeons in the world. They're right here in South Korea, and I've been in an operating room. I've seen them like do anastomosis, which is like sewing broken arteries like back together, severed arteries like on a severed finger. I've seen this in the operating room, and it's really incredible. And then you look at competitive RTS gamers or competitive esports players, and they're just like their hand movements are so good. When you see Korean people type, they type way faster than I think English typers do.
yeah, the
So
word
I don't know
count.
what it is, but we're really good. We're very dexterous, and my brothers are also very dexterous, very good with their hands. They're like they know how to use like all the tools. They can like take apart like a car and put it back together, and they can do that with a computer too. One's a dentist, and I don't want to dox myself, but yeah. So like we're really good with our hands. And me, I'm okay at Guitar Hero, and I like video games a lot, and I play guitar. Yeah.
Same with
So all those
that.
things help.
I say precision, especially in the Japanese background. There's a lot of that in precision, especially with engineering. Or you said games. I'm thinking of fighting games. I love King of Fighters, and that's completely a bunch of Asian kids messing around on a joystick and 8 different buttons and fingers. That's interesting you mentioned that. Precision with hands, and I don't know what race realist form somebody could take on this, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Muscles in the hands, because like I know blacks like certain muscles in there have like a certain.
We use chopsticks
Twitch
too.
in their,
That requires more
ankle.
dexterity than using a fork.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's gotta like count for something.
Well, and then higher intellect and stuff like that as well. Let's see.
I was looking at other jokes. Like you seem to will crack on a lot of the white guy who's obsessed with Asians, or at least the American obsession with the, which I find it's interesting. Kind of. Is it? Do you?
My dad's white, so.
Well, what do you think you know about the whole Hapa Reddit? Do you?
Yeah, they're fucking nuts. They make some good points, but they're fucking nuts though. Most of these subreddits are fucking nuts though. Like, I go on Reddit and it's like people who take this shit way too fucking seriously.
Exactly.
Like, they think they're on some kind of like, they think some kind of revolutionary. Like, you idiots! It's on Twitter. That's where it's all at.
Arkady, would you mind explaining to the audience like what percentage you are? Like how much of you break down your Asianness for us.
Quarter. That's all you need to know. Quarter and probably like at least 1% Indian or some shit. I don't know. I got a southern white in me, so like I'm likely predisposition to say I'm part Indian. So part Indian.
So,
I'm saying once you're courtsies, like you can basically pretend you're that race. The other night when Richard Spencer was at Auburn University, the second person to do Q&A goes, well, it turns out my mother was Japanese, and I have to ask you something about racial politics that has something to do with this, but not exactly about white nationalism. And the point is, I don't know, I just find there's this really popular liberal thing when you're being courtsy, right?
It's great.
Courtsy. I'm like not that. I'm not really that into studying the internet shit lately, or liberal shit lately, because all thing I've been doing is coming home from work and making these comics and going to bed.
Yeah.
So what's courtsy exactly?
I'm saying quarter. Like you say half C, courtsies. Courtsies.
Oh, fuck, I don't use those childish words. I fucking hate childish words. It's like you're 30 years old and using them
also, Arkady, if people look at you, would they suspect that you're Korean or even Asian? Like, what do they
suspect I'm Russian. They think I'm Russian.
Oh, really?
I look. Yeah, I speak a little Ruski too, but I think I'm Russian. I actually looked up the Uyghurs in China, or Uyghurs they call them. It's like Chinese Muslims.
Oh yeah.
I actually look a lot like I look a lot like a fucking Uyghur though too. So it's kind of funny though, because all these people who are historically Mongol and European, like Russians and Uyghurs, I basically look like that. I'm a proto-Slav. Someone called me that, actually, a proto-Slav.
What do you think about the Kazakhstani people or the Central Asian people? Some of them have some mixtures within Chinese blood or even Korean blood within them, with both a European mix. There is a beautiful volleyball player from Kazakhstan named Sabina Altanakabova.
Yeah.
She looks like an anime character. And,
that girl.
It's weird because she's.
Do you see the comments below of all the fucking like overweight middle-aged white women saying how she's not attractive at all?
Oh, that's interesting. Like to me, like Benkova, she's not exactly Asian, and she's not it's the Central Asian kind of admixture, right? Because we could be talking about white Americans dating, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Northeast Asians, whatever, and they have Eurasian kids. But then we have people like Sabina, where it's from Central Asia and a completely different background and culture, and it kind of looks like this. So it's two different worlds. Would you say that there's certainly this? I wouldn't say it's Asian culture, but how much of that Asian culture is in Central Asia?
Well, Quite a bit though. I mean, they're mostly. I'm pretty sure most of these Kazakstanians are descendants of Mongols. The Mongols originally came over. I think it's how it works. I know in Afghanistan there's a race of people. I forgot the name of them though. One of them actually, my job, we had a guy from that area. He worked. Well, he lasted one day though, but he was part of a group of people who were descendants of the Mongols who came into Afghanistan, and he looked fairly Asian though, for what he was. But as far as culture goes, yeah, there's still Asian culture. I mean, it's in Central Asia. It's still Asia. As far as East Asian culture, it's kind of been diluted over the years due to Soviets basically erasing any culture.
I have a Kazakhstani.
While their values are basically even.
I have a Kazakhstan flag in my room with some other flags, and I just put it up there because I think like girls like Sabina are gonna. I hope she has like 10 kids, and hopefully they can produce some strange anime realism to the Central Asian states, and maybe we could see some Central Asian mixture going on, some unique race. I don't know. I kind of dream like that.
So what you're saying is that you're now opening Asian Aryanism to the sand niggers.
Well, no. Well, I'm not really. I mean, let's talk about big entry, right? We're talking about, whites, Asians, whites, that mix between the two, right? And I can understand when Central Asians look more on the white and Asian as a Eurasian side. They'll just fall under that science fiction Eurasian burrow that I previously talked about. I mean, I believe in big entryism, but I don't believe in diluting to Kalergi plan or anything like that. You say no to those people, and
What was that?
Kalergi. The Japanese, Austrian, who basically wanted, what did he say? The Negro Aryan races to mix with the Asians and then get their Jewish overlords, and everyone lives happily ever after in a monocultural state. Yeah, von Kalergi. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really support race mixing in general, though. But that's fucking retarded, though. To think that that's exactly what they want.
Yeah, it's weird because he made up the UN. Like, yeah.
There will be world peace when you no longer exist as a distinct and unique people. That's basically what it is. That will be world peace when you disappear.
Yeah, Richard von Kotahove.
It's kind of retarded, though, considering it's like saying there's no war of communism or with fucking atheism, but we look at historically speaking, there's been wars of atheist countries within the 20th century, like the Chinese and the Vietnamese still fought a war. They're saying it's the same exact shit. They think there's no wars because we're all the same. No, there's still gonna be wars. There was a fucking civil war in the United States. No matter what, it's just fucking retarded. It's almost always from a fucking monoracial way. The person who pushes mixed race the most is almost always monoracial.
Well, take a look at Brazil. Brazil should be the end goal, and how terrible Brazil is. In fact, the Japanese Brazilian are the elite class, and they have gated communities, right? And so.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, the Japanese Brazilian have a gated, and they run the military, and it just shows you by bell curve and race realism, Philippe Rushton understanding of race, you can't have monoculture even when you force it in Brazil. They just separate naturally, and it's just chaos too. I think that's what I'm afraid too. America's going to be like Brazil unless we implement this weird Discord reality where you have leave your roomism and everyone has their own little, I guess, places to branch out. I mean, that's my only science fiction scenario I can think of right now. What's the future?
Or worse, it'll turn out like South Africa.
Oh God.
Yeah, where you get the thing. But back to what Pilleater said, races seem to integrate with themselves better than with others. So Russians do better with Russians, Japanese do better with Japanese, whatever with whatever. So if you put that Russian guy with that other Japanese guy, it won't be as good as if you put them with themselves. So that's where this whole Discord thing kind of comes in, and where it works in some way.
The shoe allegory.
No matter what, you will still. Even if I'm forced to sit next to Tyrone, I will still find a way to go back to my people.
Yep.
Yeah. It's you look at LA. It's in LA. They're fucking forced to be around black people, and they're still enclaves people. Of course, Koreatown in LA is pretty much fucking nothing nowadays. But yeah, people will create their own enclaves. It's especially true on the East Coast from what I've heard from coworkers who are from there. They said, yeah, people are still they're more segregated on the East Coast when they're forced to live next to each other. They don't really talk to each other. But if they're not forced to live next to each other, then they cooperate much more.
Yeah, that's true.
There was this '90s cartoon I think everyone remembers in America called Hey Arnold, and you know, who was his best friend was Gerald, and his love interest was Phoebe. I guess Phoebe hired all the Korean, and they often played the joke that a black male would end up with a Korean female. When it turns out, you know, I think there's that fair share of Asians and blacks hating each other in California.
Phoebe was fucking a gook. I thought she was a jungle gook, not a Greek.
No, I think it was like this weird Japanese Korean hybrid.
No, I think actually that's a good point. I think she might have been Vietnamese.
Oh yeah.
I remember one episode with like her father or whatever, like trying to find some missing like they were going through some agency. I think that was Phoebe's family.
There's also could be talking about Mr. Lin. He was the Vietnamese guy, the roommate who goes.
Okay.
They made
right,
the
Asian
joke. All the Asian jokes are on him.
I'm confusing them.
Was a big man.
You're right.
The big man.
Yeah. So
wait, what
I
the
don't
fuck
think.
Is she then?
Okay. In that case, yeah, I don't think Phoebe was Vietnamese. And Phoebe is a very Korean name, actually.
Very
Korean American name.
I'm like strangely looking at the fucking Hey Arnold wiki, which I'm surprised exists. And
you shouldn't be surprised it exists. There's probably porn of it too.
Yeah.
Oh god, Shaban shit. Ever notice how everything Shaban makes looks exactly the same? Like they have the exact same facial features and every fucking thing he does.
Like, here's the thing: Shadman made porn of the Wall Street statues.
She's Japanese.
Oh, she's Japanese, Phoebe?
Yeah, she's a Jap. Yeah, she's a fucking.
Okay.
Well, I think all the West Coast love the Japanese because Japanese run the culture. There's some weird mystique with white people loving Japanese and then excluding Chinese and Korean. I don't know.
What the fuck's her parents' last name? Haterall. It's even a Japanese name at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the producers just threw it together.
Like
they
try to make her a white girl and they realize, oh, yeah. Oh wait, no, fucking.
But the point is that it seems to me that there's zero Afro-Asian thing. I think the multicultural loving society is like, could you imagine how beautiful a black and an Asian woman could get together? It just seems so dysfunctional, and it just seems like it doesn't happen at all. And I think really what has happened is that multicultural and diversity rather has happened the opposite. The white people who've invented it pretty much just use it to get Asian women or get Asian culture in, right?
Yeah, that's basically it. Like having been to Korea for I don't live there right now. Having been there, you'll see like really scummy looking white dudes with like Korean. Of course, if you look at prostitutes, all the prostitutes I saw were fucking Filipinos or Russians or whatever. They don't have any Korean prostitutes there anymore, from what I've seen.
Yeah, they do. They definitely have Korean prostitutes in Seoul.
I don't see as many though. I saw mostly like Filipino. Well, it's fucking weird. I saw like a little Filipino girl on a motorcycle with some fat American guy. I'm like, am I in fucking Manila or am I in Itaewon? I'm like, oh, I'm in Itaewon, of course. But it was just.
Well, yeah, if you're in Itaewon, then it's Itaewon.
Fucking hell, I hate Itaewon so much, dude. But what was I talking about again? Yeah, they definitely use.
It's interesting because my one of my thesis has been that this multicultural or end of world Francis Fukuyama thing. It really there is no end of history. It really what has happened is people or whites have in the 80s made that up so they could just globalize the world and take their white people gives me that, and I guess one of their favorite white people gives me that was Asian women, and they kept it quiet for 20 years, and the millennials are now here, and millennials, I guess, are more honest about doing things like joining the alt-right, and they're dating Asian girls too, and so I think eventually, give it time, it's going to be pretty obvious to shatter the multicultural monoracial regime is when you start saying facts, and you start saying the biggest multiracial bonding is between whites and Asians. I just feel that that's this double standard nobody really talks about, or at least if you're a white guy and you date an Asian girl, you just keep it quiet, or you're into video games, you have an acne face, and you just there's this whole culture that no one just wants to talk about of it. It's strange.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like being mixed race, but I could choose to start over again in my life. I'd probably choose to be like full black or some shit. Like I don't, or maybe at least full
really?
like Chinese.
Would you choose to be full black?
No, only because I feel like
privilege.
bitches. Black privilege is being OJ and not killing your wife and getting away with it. But fucking. I mean, I could choose over. I try to do something else. Of course, I can't be like, what if it's a previous life? The previous person I was a fucking Westaboo or some shit. And like, you're like, okay, I'll give you a trade off. We'll let you be white, but you gotta be part. You still gotta have some gook in you. All right. So here's your body. Kind of wonder if that's the fucking trade off for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's I'm fine who I am. I just but that's interesting because you do have people who are Eurasian who basically have this weird, I wouldn't say white privilege. I don't know if it's Eurasian privilege, but this ideal of self-hating and really saying, I don't know if Eurasian Tiger started it, probably he did. And it's this ideal
Probably.
that oh, I'm worthless, I'm a nihilist, and I hate myself, and
yeah.
just be with your own race because it's. But in the way that gives ammo to the alt right, and it assumes as well that you should just stick with your own kind, and you should just kill yourself if you're halfsies or even quartsies, and it's just.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's I don't care who you are. That kind of attitude isn't healthy for an individual.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
and lots of people go through different struggles in life. And it can seem like a very, very lonely, fragmented universe. But I would agree with him, like ideologically speaking. Yeah, I think people are better off just sticking to their own kind. But that doesn't mean you as an individual have to resent your own existence.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's healthy.
I mean, I don't hate myself. I'm not saying I hate myself or anything like that. But I'm just saying, sometimes I kind of wonder what life would be like if I wasn't this. And like Common Filth mentions about being mixed race people, and it says the thing about it is and from my own experience, most I met are fucking miserable.
Exactly.
Like, they're fucking miserable. Like they are. Like I grew up in actually grew up around a lot of mixed race people, and they're all fucking fucked up on drugs, or even. You look at like the porn industry, like a majority of the porn stars who are Korean are half.
Yeah.
Like it's there is a lot to it.
I joke.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I joke and with this Asian Aryan thing, and I talk about different forms and levels of Asian Aryanism, but I like to focus on this punk thing you're talking about. They're all degenerates. They're all into porn. They're all into thing, and it's funny because there's this flirting love within our elite culture about punk culture or something weird, or that youth or something, right? The real criminal or degenerate seems to be this half-racial person that's in his own, and I think to myself, if people keep producing more Eurasian kids, then you're going to have this weird, strange, avant-garde punk culture that's happening, like from bands like Juju or something like that, and what you just mentioned.
Making Dia.
Yeah, so the thing is, okay, and here's the thing, like, whenever there's some kind of particular background about a person that sets them apart from, like, the rest of society, basically you're an outcast, then yeah, you're gonna, feel like you don't belong in society, you're gonna have the identity struggle, and you're gonna turn to drugs and other degenerate behavior, right? So it's not just say, half-breeds, but also adoptees, Korean adoptees. When I meet them, they're like, a lot of them are just broken people. A lot of them have drug problems. A lot of them have,
it's true. Yeah.
Their own particular flavor of self-esteem issues, and they also always go through the struggle, which is, oh, what if, like, I wasn't adopted? What if I just grew up in Korea like everyone else did, like all the other Koreans in the world did? Or if I grew up with Korean parents like most Korean people do? Or if I was just born white? That's something it's always in the back of their mind. And I know this because it was also in the back of my mind. Like, even though I had Korean parents, why didn't I grow up, being immersed and part of the culture of my parents and my people? Why didn't I, why do these kids treat me as a foreigner when America is all that I ever knew? Stuff like that. So then, like, that's why I have my own identity struggle. And so I can really relate to, say, the halfies and the adoptees that I met growing up and that I meet here in South Korea. Some adoptees and some hapas, they do really well here, but they're a small minority. Some of them are able to, like, find themselves, and it's like a beautiful, empowering thing. But most of them, no, it's just the fractured identity is too much for the average person's psyche. Unless you have a strong ego and, like, a strong will to power and all that shit, the path of least resistance is that society's gonna kind of oppress you. You're always gonna feel alone and shit. And for that reason, I don't think it's a smart for the average couple to race mix.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're going to say why parents moved to America. I want to talk about just how fucked up America actually is. I think I actually don't think it's kind of retarded to immigrate here if you live in a already live in a first world country like Korea or Japan. I was gonna start off where my tangent going on. I just got a ship. So I'm kind of like I got my work ship. So I'm kind of not here now. But what I was gonna say is I had a recent thing. I'm not sure if you saw it. If you go on Twitter now, it's America the Beautiful. You comment on it. You saw it. It was the Up My Asian Ass thing.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, that that one, which basically says America the Beautiful. I don't want to read. I don't like accent Korean's shitty right now, so I don't want to read that. But it's basically, I think it's nuts to move to the United States. And I think part of the reason why I think it's retarded for all these parents to move to the United States from Korea. Because I'm not saying you turned out fucked up or anything, but a lot of the Korean Americans I've met growing up just turn out.
I turned out fucked up.
Well, if you try to be a not wigger, a kicker, or turn out to be like
Chiga.
Yeah, he turns something like Chigger, the Chinese version. You turn like that, and I think it's pretty emblematic if your parents immigrate to the United States, or you're just fucking. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's pretty far your fucking parents immigrate to the United States. But God, I got going on. If you want to input something now, I need a second to think about what.
But you said 4 reasons why you shouldn't immigrate to the U.S.
Oh,
and,
I didn't mean 4. Oh, I gave 4 reasons on my thing, right?
Yeah, you said American schools suck. American culture.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that article. I haven't gone on my WordPress for how long, dude.
It's social revolution time and the Soul Soma thing. You have a picture of Asian schoolgirls. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing that movie. Or is it a porno?
It's a movie. Surprisingly, it's directed by a guy of echoes around his name. By the way, just gonna. Throw it out there.
Jewish Asian thing. I didn't know that was this, but okay. That's interesting. If Jews get into that, they want to deconstruct Asians. You know, I think Asians.
Yeah, they are actually. They are. Seth Rogen's part of that shit. Well, the porn industry itself is run by Jews, and they make a lot of this Asian shit.
Did someone say the Jews?
Oh, you're back now. Yeah, the Jews are part of the race mix of Asians. We're whites now. We can bitch about that shit. Where was I? I'm looking at the blog post. So I was gonna try to go. What was the reasons again? You're looking at it right now. I'm on
American
mobile.
Culture that you said you were talking.
Yeah, in fact, my that picture I did, it kind of actually summarizes that. Yeah, American culture nowadays is fucking ghetto. Like the dominant culture here is pretty much black. Like if you go on the commercials that all use hip hop music nowadays. There's like you can watch if you live like in rural ass North Dakota, you're gonna see black people all over your TV. Yeah, if you go outside, you're just gonna see white snow and white people. You're not gonna see black people. Yet you still think you're in like a predominantly black area. And in general, I think it really reflects. Where am I going on to? Reflects a lot of the original sentimentality of the United States when it was first founded.
Yeah,
it's been basically this whole really heavily individualistic. I got my shit, and I'll get out of here. And you can definitely see it in the black community how it's basically falling apart. Like the picture I'm looking at right now is the picture of Detroit, of the Motor City Park where it is, and just black kid walking across like this, basically abandoned factory, and it looks like something straight out of Fallout 4. And that's part of American culture nowadays. It's rotting. It's all the glory days are dead. It's rotting. It's a rotting country, and yet people still immigrate here thinking they're gonna make it, and they do make it. They're gonna be like that one African king who has a huge ass palace, but across the street from him is basically a bunch of mud huts, and that's basically what the American dream has become.
It's like this. I think one of the most eye-opening books I read was Christian Lander's Stuff White People Like, and he determines that there's right kind of white people and the wrong kind of white people. And ever since World War II, whites have basically made a pledge to themselves to purge the wrong kind of white people. And they basically, like Fox News, football, pretty much white racialist normie stuff. But the right kind of white people are liberals, and we're just saying they're part of the disease. And because of this purging has been happening since the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, we've created what has happened. This Negro culture on the TV, where masculine values is African because it's whites and Jewish overlords putting it over on the TV, but then it's white outside. And it's this really confusion between white middle class and white people trying to say, you got to purge your racist behavior so you can be a New Yorker reading, Waspian, Manhattan trotting white person. And that never happens because it's socioeconomics. And so along with that, white people denying their racial consciousness, we're also talking about this whole multiculturalism, which is basically globalism of the world. And I think that narrative, I'm kind of optimistic. I hope that narrative falls soon with this nationalism upbringing that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's like, right. I think for me, the weird thing about, say, getting into the hardcore alt-right, when starting to sympathize with, say, white nationalism over the past year or two, is like the awakening of my own racial consciousness and the how do I say this? The perception of my historical background, my roots, and like going back to, say, even worshiping my ancestors. Like these days, you know what I do? When I wake up, I fucking bow twice and I meditate, I pray to my ancestors and I ask them to like fucking guide me and shit. This as Christopher Cantwell would say, like this kind of racial awareness, the realization of an existential threat to your people and the desire to like preserve and continue to protect your own race is like the closest thing to a spiritual or religious experience. And I've had spiritual experiences before, and this is no different in that respect. Like I feel my ancestors and I can like feel their blood like coursing through my veins and shit like that. So what was I gonna say? So like racial awareness it's like really a beautiful thing, guys, to understand that you're not this kind of rootless, atomized individual, but you come from a special place, a special geographical location with a particular history, a particular language or culture. And so for me, like being all this whole spiritual realization stuff and me getting in touch with my roots, learning my language and the way of my people and wanting to preserve that, it is a response to the existential threat of globalism, of like this Jewish Zionist globalist thing that's trying to turn us all into mongrelized, corporate slaves for the New World Order. And so that's something that was big for me. It's just like out of self-preservation, like I do not want to die. I want to live, and I want my people and our children to live. It's because of that I've had to return to my roots, and to that, like I'm very grateful to the alt-right and all these people. To see white people returning to their roots, especially when it's such a hard time for white people to do that because they're under such attack and anti-white propaganda, was really inspiring, and it's helped me find my own Korean roots and like what it means to be Korean. And I'm still searching.
I'm happy Donald Trump won. I thought Hillary was on. If Hillary Clinton would have won, then it shows you how cowardly white people are. But they voted Donald Trump, and it shows you that there's some significance nationalism is alive.
Yeah, I think a major reason why he won, though, is because of all the people getting attacked by anti-Trump, all the Trump supporters getting bloody in the streets. I think it's a major reason why he won, because seeing that shit makes you want to go up and vote for him, because it's like, oh, fuck these guys. They're going to come out and attack us supporting them. Then fuck you.
Did you guys vote for Trump?
Yes, I voted Trump.
I did, only because I didn't want Hillary to win, because I didn't want him to attack Syria, which he fucking did that, which really pissed me off for the entire week.
But it's totally, I was worried because I thought if white people were to vote Hillary, it shows you how the nature of, not to believe in white privilege or anything, but it shows you how cowardly some white people are. And so, but they voted Trump, and that means racial nationalism is a possibility, and people can have this change of mind. But currently at the current situation, I feel like with all this American culture and this confusion between, blacks taking the white women's and the white nerd taking the Asian girl, it seems to me that people have to adapt to certain situations or the fatalist normie lifestyle to a degree where they have to adapt to certain things. And I feel as though that I'm very sympathetic to these I guess Asian porn actresses and like Asian kids are suicidal that are kind of in this whole angry scene because, for one, I think they're, not to sound like a progressive, they have this culture, but they're not given words or means to that culture. And I think most of these kids would be enlightened to hear that if only they could hear other kids and not associate with the Judeo-Christian culture. I'm just saying, if you were given a syringe of Asian Aryanism, they would just won't give a fuck anymore and just do whatever they want, you know. And they're not bowing down to liberal order.
Yeah. Speaking of Asian porn stars, what do you think of my article on Nico Day?
Yeah, I didn't know who she was until you mentioned her name, and I'm always interested in these. Yeah, I was talking with a friend earlier today about Harriet Sugar Cookie, and I was thinking to myself, does Harriet Sugar Cookie have a bad life, or is she just some spoiled rich kid who basically says, I don't want a college degree, I want to do porn, right? And so I don't know anything about this Nico Day. I'm not so sure if she had abusive family or she has it tough, she's on drugs, you know. But to me, I feel like she's on drugs.
She's well, I count marijuana as a drug. Most people don't nowadays, but I count the drugs still.
Yeah, because it seems that what I've examined, there seems to be this millennial generation that's entering porn that feels like they have these high expectations of pornography being, I get to have sex with people all day and I get money for it.
Well, I mean, I guess to compare this to normal lifestyle, I had a kid in class who was like, oh, well, I mean, he was the standard, high school, back in the class jackass making snide remarks, and he's like, oh, I want to be a porn star. And then when you look at statistics, they say, oh, well, male porn stars get paid jack shit because no one wants to watch men. Or a majority of people who watch porn don't want to watch men jack their wiener. They want to watch girls. They want to watch hot girls with big tits. They don't want to watch some average
Yeah, and I feel
dudes.
like these girls, like Mickey Day, are you sure she's just a normie girl and she just wants to do porn because that's what bratty rich girls do? Or is she really mentally disturbed and this is not what she does with her spare time? And so you have to think whether it is decadence or this strange upper class, also decadence, which is about just, I want to have sex with people because it's fun,
Her reasons, because she did an interview for Amped, by the way, Amped Asia.
Oh yeah, I probably
Asian.
I'm surprised I haven't read Amped Asia. I love Amped Asia, by the way, but
Asian Vice. I call it Asian Vice.
Exactly, Asian Aryan Amped Vice. But yeah, what did she say?
She basically, her reasons, I can look it over now. It's a good thing I was able to get to my blog. Her reasons are basically that she was doing it solely for money. Like, her reason is solely for money. And the strange thing about it is that she justifies it by saying people need porn. Like, they need it to survive. And basically by being a sex worker.
I need it, guys. I really do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying. Because yeah, what's that?
Well, it's also a really ANCAP view, though, because she says, we're in a capitalist society that shouldn't be bogged down by these types of old ideologies. Because she mentions how Judeo-Christianity, which, take the Judeo part out, you got it more accurate, but yeah, because Jews are pretty fucking immoral to begin with. She goes something like, our society's based on Judeo-Christian values, and it shouldn't be like that because they're no longer like that. And her reasons are basically, these are old values, and so we need to make money. Fuck these old values, make money. That's basically her ideology.
Oh, yeah. It's a consumerist end of the world scenario or end of the history. Here's the interesting part. I think it's funny. There's this, if you go on Harriet Sugar Cookie's Twitter, it's porn for geeks, right? It's this tagline as if there's this new porn coming about. And you have Nico Dye telling Judeo-Christian vow, like she's sounding like she's the philosopher or like roaming millennial, like she's a YouTube person, and she's sucking white cock. And basically, is this the new pornography? Is this like going back to Percy Shelley's ideal of him to intellectual beauty, that instead of treating a girl as a mother, we just like her as an individual? It seems like there's some roaming feminism coming about, or this strange seeking through that, and that's kind of strange, is because it's this weird pornography that seems to be happening. I don't know really how to explain it, but the magazines like Amped Asia are certainly flirting with this weird Asian Aryan identity, and I don't know whether it's decadent or the value is that upper class can do what they want and we're immoral.
It could be some, normally appeal thing where everyone's just like, okay, well, you have this type of pornography where it's some white thought fucking a black guy, but then you have this other pornography where it's just this girl and she's just beautiful. Now, I may be full of bullshit, but I guess there is some sort of fuckery going on there.
I got a buddy on Twitter who goes by the name Krampus, and he mentioned about the Maoist ideology or viewing how they view sex and they view prostitution. They basically view it as something for the bourgeoisie. They view it as basically being what happens when your society has too much money and when your society has too much focus on money. And as much as I hate communism and hate any godless ideology like that, there's some white in it though. I think
It has some,
we look at her ideology. Am I still in Discord right now? Sorry, I'm
so,
still.
Yeah, you're kind of in the chat all alone.
Yeah, I can turn that off. Well, I got two people there. Probably like, who the hell is this guy talking? I was saying, yeah, her ideology, going back to Nico, is basically what America is nowadays. When you get down to it, it's basically what the Maoists believe. Which is kind of ironic though, because if you scroll up at her, she mentions how come she's Chinese, and the fact she's Chinese means she's not religious.
Yeah,
And
that's actually turning me off, actually, because I don't like it when a whitewashed Asian tells me, "Oh, I'm above my Chinese identity. You see, I'm white like you." It's this very soothing of.
She's saying since she's Chinese, she's not religious.
Yeah, it doesn't work, guys. I've tried it. It doesn't work. You're just lying to yourself.
It's funny though.
It's a fucking despicable thing.
Well, it's funny that she says since she's Chinese, she's not religious, and she doesn't have to follow any set of values. When in reality, atheist Chinese in mainland China are the ones who started up the whole theory that having too much money in your society makes you a sexual degenerate. Like they're the ones who are against what she does, yet they're atheist Chinese. And so what she's doing, when she's saying it there, I find looking her ironic.
I really think most of these girls are on the wrong path, or they have a very they sound smart, but really they're just shallow. It's kind of like she might be this smart cookie, whatever, but I think she's this shallow, really, that has problems. Like we're just going back to what we're talking about. Most Happas, they're in the porn industry because they have this strange, identity crisis thing. And I also think too that there's a lot of annoying liberalism.
I can't hear you, by the way.
There's a lot of annoying liberalism, and I hate it. I really hate it when some Asian American, who says that, right? You're Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatever. But when somebody says that I'm white like you, or they basically use this benefit where they confuse white people and tell them they are white like them, but really that's not the case.
Oh, wait, are you saying that are they actually using the words "I'm white like you," or are they saying "I'm American like you"?
It's a metaphor, kind of. Just like it's like
and white people fall for it, and then white people go and
Can you answer my question?
What's that?
But I'm saying, are they actually saying "I'm white like you," or are they saying "I'm American"?
No. It's like
American like you.
Figurative.
It's like sometimes not. I wish they would say I'm white. Well, maybe they have. I'm not so sure where I can do it. But the point is that it's like whites fall for it. They don't want to look at Asians and blacks as them. They want to say they're white like me, and so that's what happens. And white people.
I don't see color.
They're cucked.
So they're not actually. So you're not saying that they actually say I'm white like you. You're saying that through their actions or through their behavior or their attitude, they're saying the same thing.
So all the stupid skater kids and hipsters who jerk off to Miko Dai are like, well, she's white like me. That makes me a good man. No, she's Chinese. And I would do that too. I would think a good, healthy dose of race play is a good... You could start calling her a chink in bed.
Race play is fucking terrible, dude.
That's what I'm just saying. That would be the solution, right? You can't play
Suck
this.
my dick, you dirty book.
Exactly. Because now it's the only way to institutionalize. If there are these players saying, they're playing dirty, then you should.
It's true. I think so. About bring her back to Earth to fucking tell her, slap her in the face, and say, "Yeah, you're part of an ancient race or traditions, the millennial lawn. Yet you want to be a soulless consumerist European. You're a mongrel from America." Like that's a really good slap across the face. To be honest.
But yeah, the point is, I see. I have no hard feelings to Miko Dai or Harriet Sugar Cookie or Amped Asia. I'm actually quite a fan of this weird punk counterculture. I just don't want it to be liberal and tainted with this paused cuckery.
This
I want it to be
whole-
like Jim
yeah.
Goad's Answer Me, like an Asian Answer Me magazine.
You
It's
want
just
you want Asian Sam Hyde? I can be that for you if you want that.
Asian Jim Goad, Sam Hyde, Degenerate. I'm pretty sure Miko Dyer, Harriet Sugar Cookie go see Juju shows. I mean, they're that.
Juju.
Juju, yeah, Juju, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's this weird Asian American punk thing. In no way am I advocating it. I'm just saying it's there, and Amped Asia does a good job institutionalizing it. And I hope they basically. I'm pretty sure they'll find Asianarianism problematic. That's the thing because they're liberals and it's run by parentheses and. But the point is, you have to be separate from that and I do believe in healthy values. I hate this weird ideal where it's just like, I don't know, like
Rick and Morty shit.
Yeah, and like this, I really don't like this, what I just said, Miko Dai being this, like I just said, this millennial thing where they pretend that porn is safe, it's easy, I can do what I want, I can be this anime living character, and I could suck white cock every other day, and everything's going to be fine. Right? It's an unreal. It assumes that everyone else can do that, and it's a strange, I don't know, master and servant mentality. But that's how I view the situation.
Well, she is a Twitch streamer, by the way.
Huh.
So she you got the fancy part down. She lives a fucking fantasy life.
That's what I'm saying. All these people, they live porn for geeks. They live these weird. There's this new porn, which is like. There's this white girl named Cherry Crush. She looks like an anime character, but sucking. At least she's hetero. She's with her white boyfriend, sucking white cock. But she's like, she confuses these white men to say she's this thing, and you look at her as this thing, and it makes you think.
She is that.
It's like the normie. Can the normie do porn and break or something? And it's like this strange, or is it just a weird case of just decadence?
Decadence.
Yeah.
It's
decadence.
It's American society.
Mm-hmm.
It's eating itself right now. It's just eating itself.
And that's what I'm saying. Before then, in the 70s and like older than that, porn was fringe and criminal, and I liked that aspect of it. But today, porn is now conformity normie stuff, and actresses like Mika Dai basically, or even Amped Asia promotes this ideal that it's just like, well, you could be a Snapchat girl and still suck dick for a living, or something like that. It's just a part-time job. And so if you think about that, that's what I'm saying.
I blame the Jews for pornography.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I blame I blame them for making it so,
Normal.
I blame for that. Normalize, I blame for normalizing it. I'm pretty sure the Goyim were doing porn before them, but at least the Goyim, when they're doing porn, the Goyim society was very shunning of it. It wasn't until the merchants came in and basically uproot their society and turn on its head, which is what communists do to begin with. A lot of the societal ills to begin with was more or less just more of a communistic conspiracy, to be honest. As strange as it sounds, a lot of the shit we see is basically how to break everyone so they'll march underneath the anti-fat banner. That's basically what this is when you get down to it.
Yeah. I mean, there's this. I don't know what to say about it. I just feel like whatever happened to being like a good person and having this. The only really porn actresses I found intelligent was Sasha Grey. I loved her music, Atelocene. I found her music to be very avant-garde and interesting. I had no idea she was a porn actress, and she does it for these weird, disgusting ways. Like she'll suck on black cock because she doesn't like black people, or she wants to be treated as a dog and it's like, yeah, this person's. She's mentally disturbed. She's mentally disturbed. She's like mentally disturbed, and so it makes sense because the character's mentally disturbed. She's being authentic to her mentally disturbed behavior. But again, there's these porn actresses, unlike Sasha Grey, which are basically pretty looking anime Asians, and they are saying everything's normie, guys. And it's weird because it's like I still think there's this punk culture behind it. I mean, I wish some of these would write more, do poetry or something, but they don't. They're just. I always think there's some weird conspiracy behind it, as if there's a Big Brother upmanship and that they put on this weird persona or something weird.
The Jews.
Yeah.
Communists.
Big Brother.
Same thing, actually.
I don't know. I kind of, since it's late and I don't really want to discuss this, but Pilleater, you mentioned that people like fucking what's her name, Sweetheart or whatever. are basically just trying to make this whole new counter porn.
Exactly.
It's
It's alt porn.
But it's kind of existed for a long time in the form of hentai. Like it's because you have the difference of you have in one hand you have on regular porn you've got the white thought sucking off the black guy. The black guy's got a massive cock and she's like, I love your dick. But then on the other hand you have this Eastern Asian made abomination that everyone kind of looks at weird because I'm just jacking off the cartoons.
And they're jacking off into an image of the history, and it becomes this weird Valkyrie worship of sexuality, and that becomes reality. And the Amptasia models try to look after that. There's something really strange. I don't know, but it's an interesting thing. Sexuality. I find it very of a movement thing to happen. I feel like the alt-right, when it comes to sexuality, the alt-right doesn't really have porn, but the Aryan woman in the wheat field, and they talk about how amazing white women are. And
to be honest, I think porn's pretty degenerate. So
yeah. The only reason why I talk about porn because it has to do with street culture and punk and cultural anthropology.
Yeah,
and I don't mean to advocate it. I'm just saying why do they do these things? I'm just I'm kind of that kind of person. But I'm looking at another article right now. It says Black Lives Matter or Asian Afrophilia. The
Black Lives Matter.
It's funny because I talk about the whole Afro-Asian thing too, but this is to the point where Asians want to be the model minority or black power. I think that's a rare case, but is it only with jungle Asians?
I saw a lot of that Asians only black on Asian masculinity. I saw a ton of that shit there. And it's
what exactly?
They wanted to become the next Black Panthers because there was a really minuscule political party that was basically made of Chinese Americans called the Red Guard. They're basically like the Chinese version of the Black Panthers, but they were really minuscule and they didn't do shit.
What is their political? What is their vision though? What is their political end goal?
Oh, they are fucking old communists. You go on Asian masculinity, it's weird. They are some days they're pretty base. They'll basically be saying what your guys are saying. Other days they're basically saying the same exact shit white liberals say, but to a more racial extent. But the political ideology of the Black Panthers and the Red Guard was basically Marxism, no doubt. That's part of.
I guess it sounds like commie chinks to me. Let's throw them out of helicopters, please.
Yeah. Yeah, they should be throwing helicopters. Their Asian masculinity is pretty fucked up. That subreddit's just like Happus, but the negative version of it.
I always think Asian feminism always fails, or yellow feminism always fails, because it's just a way to say I want a white boyfriend or something weird, or
Yeah, there's that comic, the Red Pilled Comics, or it wasn't Red Panels, it's Red Pilled, and there's an these Asian girls out there protesting for Black Lives Matter. And then it's they're going, hey, girls, done protesting now. And it shows them all going back home with their white boyfriends.
It's true.
There's that comment.
And I always think when the Asians, when they do this Black Lives Matter thing, I think it's another way of saying they want white boyfriends too in this weird intro way. I was studying this Japanese character, the gal figure, the Ganguro, the Garu figure, and she's basically
those girls.
They basically look like black girls, but they have blonde hair like white girls, and prefer to be with white men, but listen to hip hop and rap, and so you have this weird fusion going on. But it's this way of I'm Western, and if I'm Western, I must be with a Western guy.
So young gay.
So it's like when I see these Black Lives Matter, these people trying to act like blacks, either they just want to be an extreme racial nationalist, or I think they're racial nationalists, or they are just trying to be like affirmative action benefits, or some kind of.
I guess you could look at it from the perspective of. When you look at Asians compared to all the other minorities and even whites, you see that they perform better than minorities, so they kind of want to jump on. They want to jump on the gives me that boat. They want to say that since we're a minority, let's try to get some of this, reparations that the white man is giving all these black people.
Yeah. If I get quiet, it's because my Skype's turned to shit. So it goes in and out occasionally. I've been quiet. So if I miss,
I'm gonna have a smoke because I'm Korean.
Yeah, go have a smoke.
You have a smoke. I don't know what I'm looking
No, I feel it's like, and so I don't stress it out when I see a social justice warrior Asian, because it turns out she's just a nice way of saying I want a white boyfriend, and it's just a nice way of saying, it's just I don't find them threatening at all. I find the white feminist threatening because she just is a fucking shrewd.
Well,
No, the white feminist is a different beast, I guess, so to speak.
they're still beasts altogether.
Yeah, I just find
Social
justice
warriors of any race are horrible people.
I just feel like you could cheat with the Asian social justice warrior, because it's like, oh, that's cute. You really don't mean that. Hey, honey, you want a drink? That's why I feel like with the Asian stuff, they're basically
like, hey, how are you doing?
exactly. You just like flirt, and then she's. I met like
and
two.
Then
before,
she.
And it's like also.
I guess now that you've kind of explained out, because I was confused when I sent you that picture of that fucking chick who was, like, oh, the native people of America, and you're like, no, she's a cool person, she's fine, and I was like, fuck.
We also have, just wrapping up.
The native people.
I'm looking at the power dynamic of white Asian families and the effect on children. You mentioned Hapa men with white fathers and Asian mothers, and you have Elliot Rogers.
Yeah, I didn't make that, by the way. That's I think it's circulated all around the internet.
And then Asian fathers with white mothers, you have the successful Keone Reeds and Russell Wong and Julian Kang. And it just seems to happen the white fathers, you produce Elliot Rogers.
It's true in some sense, though.
I don't know what
I'm
it is,
an Elliot
guys,
Rogers in a
think,
way. I would say I'm the... People
I
say
think,
that
I think
Elliot
the,
Rogers.
I think that just demonstrates the superiority of the Asian male seed.
Yeah, that should be an argument that, white women should get more with Asian guys. I mean, it's a pretty self-obvious thing.
Well, I think...
Talk me out of my own ideology, dude.
What was that?
Oh, I was going to say...
My own ideology.
Cut.
Just place me at some fucking vendor.
No, I'm just saying because it's like, I think Asianism works too when you have Asian male, white female, and as long with white male, Asian female. Because it works both sides. It's just there needs to be more power to Asian patriarchy taming white women. I feel, even if that means institutionalizing, I've said this before controversially, a gay Asian manor bun men, because so as long as I know it's controversial, but the point is that there must be appreciation for the male aesthetic in an Asian Aryan environment, and that includes some kind of gay.
I would be hot against the gay.
Yeah, I
gay.
know.
Anything sodomites is cancer.
Yeah, it's not gay. I'm just trying to be open. I'm trying to say appreciate the male aesthetic. Asian men are good.
In 2 weeks from now, Pilleater will be asking you to post
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, guys. I just want to say something that I've been thinking about these days. Okay, and I think, for example, Korean women are, say, to me, the most beautiful women in the world. But a Korean woman only exists because a Korean man put his seed inside a Korean woman.
Exactly.
So in that way, a Korean woman's beauty is a testament to the father's genetics, to the father's handsomeness.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that, and that's true for like all races, So like a beautiful Aryan white woman, right? She's a product of a white father. And
exactly.
So in that way, like we need each other basically. Nothing I say is new.
Well, it's kind of like with the saying, like I'm no one really gives a shit about Joseph and of Mary and Joseph. No one seems to care about Joseph's input or Joseph raising Jesus. No one only care about Mary. It's exactly that. No one gives a shit about the man when it comes to the child.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to think about it. I mean, I don't mean to say anything gay or some homosexual ideal, but there's been this ideal that the male figure has. If you like men in America, you're gay, right? There's no reason it's like, oh, well, you have male appreciation, male aesthetic, you're gay.
That's just how it works.
I don't get it. Yeah, it's like... Sorry, go ahead, and I'll say my piece.
Well, I mean, I guess in defense of that, it comes off as gay. I'm not saying that you are gay, if you're some fucking nudist fascist bodybuilding motherfucker. It's like, oh, I'm not gay. I'm just, appreciating that guy's muscles. Hey, I'll suck your dick if you spot me next time.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's kind of the vibe I get from those people.
Yeah.
And it translates into normie society where it's like, okay, well, yeah, if you're gonna say this kind of stuff, then you're obviously gay. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I'm not saying that that's right either. I'm saying that it could be a two-way street where this guy could really be just like a, nice muscles, bro, or this guy could be just like a, put your dick inside my asshole.
I don't understand, guys. I mean, I get the whole fear about, like, I don't know, being called gay or considered gay. Like, it's kind of funny. But when people say no homo, like, that bothers me. I'm just like, of course it wasn't homo, so why did you have to say no homo? I mean, like, what do you think Hitler was commenting, on, like, the handsomeness of white Aryan men, and was he saying no homo? No, he didn't, and I mean, like, Hitler was like a masculine figure, dude. So, like, it's just like, I want to appreciate all of humanity, and especially my people. So, like, I enjoy when I see, like, a handsome man with a beautiful Korean woman. I'm just like, wow, these are my people. They're beautiful. And particularly from an objective standard, like, yeah, I think, like, Korean men are, like, the most handsome Asian men.
Oh, yeah, more better than Japanese, tell you that. No offense, Pilleater, but
yeah,
I think I've seen quite a few Japanese men. I'm like, oh god, I think you guys seem probably.
It's weird
more.
because I think of the Japanese men being. I guess once again, this is coming from my background, and it's probably coming from the background too, where it's like, I guess there's this weird rift between Japanese Korean, and I see it all the time too. I just find that the Japanese male is kind of, but that's just me. But whatever. But so I guess to wrap things up, as maybe reference one more article, because you also have half-assed post about pop liberalism, because I haven't posted shit in over a month. Are you gonna do anything in the future? Shit posting on Twitter.
I want to start a show actually called. I'm going to think about this for a while. I don't know. I wanted to do one originally, the Arkady Choi show, but that turned to shit because I don't really have the talking voice for it, or because I don't really have, like, the best mic for it. But I want to do a new show revolving around more or less Korean politics and stuff, kind of like this show, more or less, kind of like a more modern version of Amped Asia in some regards.
That's what I'm doing too. I mean, I don't mean to be degenerate like Amped Asia. I just flirt with it and say, like, hey, I like this cool street culture. The thing is, I don't like the parentheses and this liberal cuck-minded. I just want to be more angry and in your face. that's and more artistic and avant-garde. But
I don't really know how to describe it though. But I want to do a kind of a new show. I don't know how I'm going to do it though, because the logistics behind it are kind of insane. Because they're my own schedule. Because right now I barely slipped into this show.
Exactly.
But I think I'm doing a new one. I think I'm calling it either Radio Yushin or Yushin Radio, something like that. And you know what it means. Based Korean, you know what Yushin is, right?
You know what? What?
Yushin.
Yushin?
Yeah, Yushin.
Like Reformation?
Yeah, like that. That's the name of it. It's named because I like it. It's going to be kind of more commentary on society in general, but I was going to maybe have a little bit of Korean, like kind of like Common Filth, but more like Asian slant to it. No pun intended. But I was thinking about doing that. As far as articles go, I have another one that is in the drafts right now. I forgot what it's about. I think it's Oh yeah, it was called Being Kimchi Pilled. I think you'll probably like that one.
Bro, to be frank with you, if you want to, like, I don't know, embrace your Korean side and use use Korean terminology, and I don't know how to put it, like, you got to up your Korean game, man, because, like, my Korean game, I don't even think it's near that level, and I shy away from doing that. Like, I only talk about, like, use these terms if I'm, like, absolutely sure about, like, the meaning and all this stuff.
Yeah, I knew that.
Otherwise, I mean, like, if you look at your Twitter profile, like, your Korean isn't even right. Like, you should fix that.
I do on purpose for the cartoon things, partially because I actually do want to post it on Korean forums, but I don't want them to think I'm a North Korean deterrent because some are fucking retarded. You go on Ilbay. Why is it incorrect Korean on purpose? Are you being ironic? Because a little bit ironic. Because a majority of my audience on Twitter are not Korean speakers. I think only like you, a guy named fucking Hwa John. That's another guy. Just you and Hwa John are pretty much the only Korean followers I have. It's one reason. Another reason is because I do want to eventually post it on places like Ilbay. Try to, like, kind of not troll them, but kind of get some people thinking. I figure if I use correct Korean, they'll probably think it's some kind of political thing. But if it's incorrect, it might make them kind of question where it came from more than just say, oh, it's some communist or some shit. That makes any sense to you.
It doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, in order for you to pull that level of irony off, you actually have to know like Korean. Like, for example, like I go around with my friends and I joke, I get just, oh, how are you? I'm fine, thank you, and you, right? And I can only pull off this kind of irony because I actually have a mastery of the English language, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You're
I suppose
lucky.
that.
That's like the easiest degree to get if you're non-white. Degree in English. I will say I'm guilty of that. I'm extremely guilty of that. But
Being good English.
yeah,
That's
exactly. It's like I'm good English. I have degree in English.
Shit English.
I can English. I can
I get
English.
master degree in English. I have it. I don't know.
Some
You
Indian
sound a
dude.
bit Indian there.
Yeah,
I know, that's what I'm saying. I was doing like Indian, like weird. I don't know. But yeah, it's nice having you on, and Arkady, and hope to talk to you soon. Okay, like to.
All right.
Thanks for being on Based Korea, and thanks talking to Hana. Always like.
Cheers, my
always.
niggas.
All right.
I'm gonna go
Until next
masturbate.
time.
1488. Gas
Oh yeah,
for
it's
now.
Columbine. It's Smoke Marijuana Day, isn't it?
Happy
Smoke
birthday, Hitler.
marijuana for Hitler and
Columbine.
killing
Shoot up schools. Listen to KMFDM and Atari Teenage Riot. Shoot up a school. So
Play Doom all day.
exactly.
Is that
Yeah,
12?
all that classic '90s stuff. But take care,
Yes,
guys.
yes.
Have a good night.
Adios.
Like.